Hey guys, I am so glad that you read through The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with me. It is just one of the best books ever. And I thought I took a few notes. Did you guys take any notes? Did you draw any pictures? I would love to see your pictures. But I took a couple of notes and looked up a couple of things that, did you see Jesus in this story? Did you see how it kind of told the story of Jesus in a lot of ways? Really did. It's called an allegory, and it's so beautiful that way. So I have just a few points I wanted to point out to you and see if you guys saw those, heard those, felt those, or maybe go back and read some of them. You know, they're online. You could listen to me read them, the whole book through again, or there's books on tape, and I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow. But the first thing was, what were the kids called? A lot of the people in Narnia would call the kids something. They would say sons of Adam and daughters of Eve. So we all know about Adam and Eve, right? The first people God put on earth. And so we are all sons of Adam and daughters of Eve. And so in Narnia, they weren't humans, right? And so they would call the children sons of Adam and daughters of Eve because they were the humans coming from earth that God created. Kind of cool? The other thing that I wanted to point out about Adam and Eve, do you guys remember in the Garden of Eden? Adam and Eve ate something and it changed everything. Do you remember? When God said, don't eat that apple, don't eat the fruit of this tree, and when they did, it changed everything. What was a food that someone in Narnia ate that changed his mind, changed everything? Do you remember? Turkish delight. Turkish delight. When Edmund ate that Turkish delight, something came over him, everything changed, and suddenly, who did he see as good? Do you guys remember? He all of a sudden thought the witch was good. Do you remember how I'm saying, she's probably not a witch. She's maybe not so bad. His heart had been changed by that food, that Turkish delight. All right, so the apple or the fruit in the Garden of Eden kind of represents the same thing as the Turkish delight in Narnia, right? All right, let me see what else I've got. Edmund. Poor Edmund made some bad choices, right? He traded his brothers and sisters in for something that he wanted, which was Turkish delight, right? Do you guys remember in our Easter story when Judas, he turned Jesus in for what? Was it all the riches in the world? No, it was just a small bag of silver coins, right? So a small bag of silver coins to turn in Turkish delight to turn. So let's see what else. Susan and Lucy, they were a lot like the women who came and sat at the feet of Jesus. Do you remember when Susan and Lucy came and they were behind that bush and they were watching everything that was going on, and they just wept when they knew what happened to Aslan? Just like those women, Mary Magdalene, they sat at the cross and just wept as Jesus was killed on the cross. But what else happened with those women? They rejoiced when Jesus was risen again, right? And same thing with Susan and Lucy. I love it because they rejoiced and then they hopped on his back and they took off. That was an awesome scene in that book. But I love how C.S. Lewis, writing this for his godchild Lucy, he just added little pieces of the Bible that you could relate to. Let me see if I've got one more. Well, who was the character that was most like Jesus? We all know that, right? It was Aslan, right? And I love that they called him the King of the Wood, the son of the Emperor over the sea. So Jesus, the Son of God, Aslan, the son of the Emperor, right? All right. And Aslan, what Aslan did was the same thing that Jesus did for us. Aslan, having done no wrong, gave his life to pay for the wrongs of Edmund. Jesus, having done no wrong, gave his life to pay for the wrongs that we've done. So I hope you've loved this book as much as I have. I hope you guys have illustrated or colored some stories. Again, I would love to see them. I hope you'll listen to this book. I was walking with Isabella the other day and she's like, I've probably read or listened to the book 100 times. And she's serious. She really has. Our whole family has read that this year. And I hope you'll listen again, read again, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. All right, see ya.